Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may He protect us both. May we both enjoy together. May we both exert together. May our studies become brilliant. May we not become disputatious and hate each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the classes, Tattva-Bodhah. We are talking about concepts which are beyond one's intellect. It's very difficult to penetrate there. So, the idea is assumption is at present I am ignorant of the supreme reality, the Para-Brahman, and that is why I am agitated. It's that important assumption like X factor. So I am agitated now. To find out why I am agitated, I need to pitch something higher than myself in my own life. When I pitch myself higher, a higher goal, a higher ideal, an unselfish goal in life, suddenly realization dawns that I am agitated because of my own desires. I have got X amount of desires, and not all the desires are fulfilled. Quite a lot of them remain unfulfilled. And it is this unfulfilled desires that cause agitations. So since the desires is there has to be given a cause to that effect of desire. So the cause is given, that the desire is there because you have a thought. You think, I want to do this, and therefore you start doing it. Desires cultivate. Then the concept goes further saying that, so from where does this thought come? Oh, this thought has to come from somewhere, right? We don't know. The first thing that I get up and say, I want to do this, it's just a thought. I know that. I don't know anything beyond that. So another concept is given saying that these thought has to come from somewhere, and they are the seed of one's personality. They are the seed of one's, and this seed is called the vasanas. So from where vasanas have come from somewhere beyond that. We have no idea. We have no idea from where the vasanas have come. So we give this concept, the causeless cause, the causeless God, a name. Brahman, the supreme reality, right? And the concept starts with the attitude that I am the supreme reality. I am Brahman. This confinement in this physical body is called Atman, but the macrocosmic level of this Atman is Brahman. Both of them are same. Just as this air in this particular room is the same as the next room or beyond that. There is no difference. But since it is confined into a particular space, we say this is the dining room air, this is the hall air, this is the kitchen air, this is this society air, this is this ashram air. All those things are bifurcated because of the walls created by one's own foolishness. So we start with the whole concept. The last time what we did is there is a supreme reality, undeniable fact. There is a supreme reality. So we have to take it saying that yes, because these great masters are saying it, so there may be, because there is no way of understanding what it is. It is the state of becoming. So there is this supreme reality, and that is called Brahman. Okay, assuming that there is a supreme reality that is called Brahman. When the reality exists, there is always a potential of not understanding the reality as it is and misunderstanding it as something else. Yeah, that I can understand. The example of rope and snake is given throughout the Upanishads. People make a lot of fun about it, but the fact remains that if there is a rope, if there is something lying there, then the rope has a potential to be seen as something else other than the rope too, depending on various factors. Yes. So when depending on the various factors, I don't see the rope as a rope, the reality as a reality, I see the reality as something else. These factors which do not allow me to see the reality as per se is called Maya. That's all. So Maya is an illusion. Maya is not what we think it is. Maya is we see, which is something entirely different than the reality. All these are synonyms. Maya means I don't understand. Due to some confusion, I am seeing something else. How did the Maya, from this Maya, how did the Maya is represented, the qualities of the Maya, we have done this, represented as Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So it is said that when Sattva, Rajas and Tamas are in equilibrium, it is equal, then I can understand Brahman per se. It's like a reflection which is not broken, a mirror which is not broken and positioned properly before the sun. I can see the reflection of the sun per se, exactly as it is. But when the mirror is broken due to undulation, not in the sun, due to undulation in the reflecting medium, then I don't see the sun per se. The figure is disfigured. I don't see things clearly. So when Sattva, Rajas and Tamas are in equilibrium, everything is all right, the nature is perfect. So it is said. Okay, these are all theories, and theories are given for a particular reason. I'll let you know. When there is an undulation, when it is not proper, reflecting medium is not proper, then the image of that reality is disfigured, discolored. That undulation. Then there is a difference between Tamas, Rajas and Sattva. So Tamas, Rajas and Sattva are the basic constituents of the so-called individuality. And everything starts from there. From where did that come? That came from some confusion called Maya. From where did that came? There came because of the dynamism of that supreme self. Now that we don't know. So everything came from Maya. Maya has the qualities of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. From there, Sattva, what all happened? Sattva, what did Sattva create? The pure Sattva, part of the pure Sattva mixed with the elements, created the 5 Jnanendriyas. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin, which needs to be interacted with something else, right? So the sense organs of perception are there, and the total sattvic content are made, and they are the mind, intellect, mana, buddhi, ahamkar, ego and chitta. We have done this, right? We have done this last time from the sattvic aspect. Now from the Rajasic aspect, what are we doing? Let's read it. From the Rajasic aspect of space, 5 elements are enumerated. From the Rajasic aspect of space, tongue is formed. From the Rajasic aspect of air, hands are formed. From the Rajasic aspect of fire, legs are formed. From the Rajasic aspect of water, organs of procreation is formed. From the Rajasic factor of earth, anus is formed. And from the total Rajasic aspect of these 5 elements, the 5 Pancha Pranas, Prana, Apana, Samana, Vyana, Udana are formed. The 5 Pranas are formed. Okay. So all this is made by the Rajasic aspect of the 5 elements. So 5 elements are created: space, air, fire, water, earth, and a combination of these 5 elements with the combination of tamas, rajas and sattva, the world is created. So first is the individuality, a human being. How? The senses, organs of perception, number 1, sattva. Second, now these are the organs of action. So organs of action are created, pranas are created by the combination of the Rajasic aspect of all the 5 elements. Sattvic elements done, Rajasic element done. Now we move on to Tamasic element. From the Tamasic aspect of the 5 elements, sir, how do we know that from the Rajasic aspect of air, hands are formed? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Okay. We can't explain that how it is done. Only we can take their words. We'll cover it in this verse. We'll take their word that it is done. Because all this is a part of creation. Now, if you are a Pandit, okay, a Pandit means a person who is intellectually inclined into a lot of intellectual jugglery. They will penetrate or try to penetrate into this, saying that may be the case, that may be the case, but there is no way to prove anything. There is no way to. I once, saw a ghost in one of those palaces. I went and that ghost came. There is no way to prove anything. Similarly, there is no way to prove. So we'll do at the Tamasic concept. From the Tamasic aspect of the 5 elements, the grossified 5 elements are born. That's it. If asked how Panchikarana takes place, then it is as follows. Of these 5 elements from the Tamasic aspect, first, each element is divided into 2 equal parts. One half remains intact. The other half divides into 4 equal parts. 1/8 portion of each joins with the half part and the gross body is formed. Simple. Ho gaya? There is no way. So from the Tamasic aspect, what happens? The 5 elements, the grossified 5 elements, what we see, we can't see, but we know that they exist, are formed. And with that is formed the gross body. Ho gaya, khatam. If asked, how did the gross body form, sir? I did not. What is like? Is there any composition of it? If asked, this is a very. So in this whole verse, what I liked about is if asked. People usually give knowledge to all and sundry without being asked. They launch on lectures. They just launch on it. This is the way it is. So even when I am very agitated, I keep on getting angry, I am short-tempered, sir, I don't know what to do. You don't know what to do? I'll tell you, and they'll start. That's the problem with overload of knowledge. That is the reason in the Shastras, it is always said, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. When you have knowledge, you also have to have Vinaya, humility. Not shooting the mouth saying as soon as somebody says, I am agitated, sir, can you help me? Okay, sit down with me. Om Sahana Bhavatu, and start the discussion. No. 90% of the people, if not more, do not want solutions. You hear this properly, you listen to this properly, there won't be any problems in your life. I give you a guarantee. Okay, zero problems. Why? 90 to 95% of the people, most of all, if not all of them, are agitated due to some reason or the other. You look around and you see people getting agitated, getting angry over things which are way beyond their control, which is in your control. And if you get agitated, people still understand, the scriptures still understand, yes, I think this problem is there, you could have control, you did not, and you get agitated. Fair enough. Analyze yourself and move back into the process, focus back into the process. But 90 to 95 people get agitated for reasons far beyond their control, and it's just thinking, why is this happening, why is that happening, why is this, the why and how has destroyed mankind in agitation level. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? This has happened. Is it in your control? No. Then forget it now. No, but still, why should this happen? You're finished. Gone. Such people who love the why and wherefore. How did this happen? When did this happen? They just go on asking whys. Whole life is, why is this person like this and not like that? Ram Tirtha puts it beautifully in one succinct quotation. All the grumblings in the world tantamounts to, oh, why is a lily not an oak? All the grumblings in the world amounts to, oh, why is a lily not an oak? Why is this person behaving like this? What has that got to do with you? What has that got to do with you? But that person's behavior is in your control. In fact, your behavior is also not in your control. Because otherwise you would not be agitated. So why? Finished. You're gone. People like these, 90 to 95%, are not looking for solutions. They are just looking for affirmation of their own emotion. Isn't it true? I am feeling this way. Correct, na? So at that time, don't advise. Don't start launching on a lecture of philosophy or Vedanta saying that no, but we should all be happy, we have got, so don't get into that, because nothing they will understand. It's a desperate situation. So what you do, simple line. India has followed it a lot actually. Other countries should also follow us because we are the leaders. You just say, don't get tensed up. Bhagwan sab theek kar dega. Don't get tensed up. Lord will take care of everything. You don't do anything. Aaram se. He's there now. And 90 to 95% only need a shoulder to weep and cry. That's all. They don't need the solution to their problem. Remember this. 90 to 95, if not more, they don't need solution to the problems. They need to cry and vent out their emotion. So spiritual person who is intelligent enough doesn't indulge in these base emotions and base talks and base gossips. He or she gives a shoulder and says, cry. Cry. And when the other person is putting their head and crying, they touch the head and say, don't worry, God is there, He'll take care of it. The person is not intelligent enough to ask, but where is God? They can't think that much. conserve your energy, conserve your time to make it used for the betterment of your own evolution. 90 to 95%. Don't open your mouth. If asked, Jesus made this beautiful comment: don't cast pearls before swines. Don't cast pearls before swines. They will trample all over them, lest they trample all over them and turn back and rend you to pieces. They will throw away the pearls of knowledge, whatever you are giving. They will misunderstand it. That's their job. A Tamasic intellect can never understand. They will see something else only. They are trained to see something else from the world. They are trained by other people, the so-called wise people of the world, to think entirely different of something else. What is the definition of religion? Yesterday I asked, we have a beautiful children's class every Saturday, and in that children's class, every time I keep on asking, okay, so 2 questions are compulsory. They have to ask me 2 questions. Then they ask me. This time the child said, sir, every time we are asking question, you are never asking question. So there must be something, and that child is around 10 years old. He's saying, there must be something, na sir, which you don't know and we know. I said, yeah, there is a lot of things which I don't know, you know. And I put this question to them. Which one is more important? Being spiritual or being successful? Just to find out. All of them, I am so happy to relate this, all of them said that, sir, why should we even separate spirituality and success? They go hand in hand. A person who is spiritual is naturally successful. A person who is successful need not be necessarily spiritual. Then the definition of success is different. But they go, and I was so happy with, and this is coming from a 10-year-old. If they have understood this, that's it, job is done. With our children's class, with our teenage class, which we do it on Sunday, that job is done. They have, henceforth they go out in the world and they will be wise enough to lend their shoulders and say, cry as much as you want. You don't want solution. I will just tap your head and say everything will be all right, set by God, and move on with my life. So don't start lecturing. The whole Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter is Arjuna sitting and crying, Vishada Yoga. He is completely despondent, he is completely desperate, he is agitated, his body is shivering everywhere. Hands are slipping, sweating is coming, he had no idea what to do, and then he launches on a lecture to Krishna about how we should not fight. How we should not fight. We should not commit any sin, vagara vagara. Those who have studied Bhagavad Gita a little bit or they are attending the classes, they will know. So this continuously goes on. Whole lecture, 43 or 48 verses, he is just talking. We should not do this, we should not do this. Therefore, I don't see any reason why we should fight. He puts the Gandiva bow down and sits down. And you know, one of my favorite chapters in Bhagavad Gita is this chapter, chapter 1. Krishna doesn't talk. 1 is when you don't know anything and you keep quiet because you don't know. The second stage is you know a little bit and you start showing off the knowledge what you know. Dime a dozen everywhere. They start mouthing their knowledge, whatever it is. A higher state is you have all the knowledge in the world and you don't talk. Knowledge is never given, it's taken. Therefore, when Arjuna put his hand down and said, I will not fight, He looked at Krishna despondently, as if I don't know what to do. And therefore Krishna started talking from second chapter, Sankhya Yoga. If asked, what is Panchikarna? Panchikarna means what is this division? So we have done this. Next, the same back, if you diagram is given, half of space, half of air, half of water, half of fire, half of earth, plus the other 18184 times of different elements combined to make the gross elements of space, air, fire, water and earth. These gross elements make the gross body. Ho gaya. That's it. How do we know they make the gross body? At present, though we don't. But when somebody dies, when somebody passes on, I like this word passes on better. When somebody passes on from stage A to stage B, stage B is I don't know, stage A is this life. When somebody passes on, the first thing that happens is the body gets cold. Fire leaves. Then air escapes. Slowly the air starts escaping. Decomposition sets in. Therefore people start putting dhoop and agarbatti and everything around to get a better smell. Then the liquid, the water content from the body oozes out. Then the earth, whatever form the earth is, the body is, it goes on shriveling. It goes on disintegrating back into earth. And whatever space this person had occupied, a 6 feeter of so and so 200 kilos weight or whatever it is, he had occupied that space also disappears and goes back. When all these things are going, I can see in the other person. And therefore it is said that we are made of these 5 elements. All of us. Okay. So how do you see things? How do you see the world? We see the world as we are made up of 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, earth. All of them are having a nice tea party. Biscuits are also there, jam, bread, and they are all sitting there and nicely having a party. They are gossiping, they are talking, and suddenly air gets up and says, "Yaar, bas ho gaya yaar, party chodo. I need to do some work." Space also says, yeah, time's up, yaar, I need to go. And everybody needs to go to their other experiences. So all the 5 elements leave. Party is over. When the party is over, the so-called personality is moved on, expired. That's it. So some elements are coming together. Who decides when to come? No idea. Who decides when the elements have to go? No idea. Nobody knows anything. Okay, it's just a decision made, this will happen, and then you do all. That's called the birth, that's called the death. Okay. So when you understand all this, it becomes easier. Yes, now I know. So gross body is made up of 5 gross elements. How do we know but the division is made this way? Half of space and then 1/8 of air, 1/8 of water, 1/8 of fire, 1/8 of earth, and that makes the gross element of space. How do we know? We don't know. Then what? Some masters are saying it. And take it, no? But how can we believe? Don't believe. When an object falls from a higher plane to a lower plane, it falls at the speed of 32 feet per second per second. How do we know? Arey, this is the law of gravitation by Isaac Newton. Newton was a great scientist, no? Yes, then whatever he must be saying is true. That we agree. Whatever Edison said about the bulb, we agree. Whatever Einstein said about relativity, we agree. Because it is science. It is experimental. You can experiment and find out. Why should we listen to these rishis, the ancient sages? Arey, same method, it is experimental. Take those sense of values, take that teaching and experience in your life. If you can experience it and understand it and apply it, if it is successful, take it. If it is not successful, don't take it. Everything is an assumption. My life is an assumption. Nobody, when will I die? I have no idea. Yet I write poetries about death. I do a life insurance for 25 years, 50 years. I don't even know whether tomorrow I'll see the sunrise. Nobody knows. It's a faith. It's a belief. What is the definition of a line? A line is defined as a sequence of dots which has no breadth and only length up to a particular point. Draw me a line which doesn't have any breadth. What is a full stop? Full stop is a dot which doesn't have any dimensions. Put the full stop and show me without any dimensions. These are all assumptions. So when great Mahatmas are talking, you take it because it really doesn't make sense in questioning their ability. Whatever my intellect can penetrate to whatever level it is, use your intellect. The rest, when it is not connected to your current affairs, don't indulge in it. Leave it. We should allow things to happen. So what is in my control? Find out what is the spirituality. There are 4 ways of educating oneself. 4 methods of education. The first method is called pratyaksha. Pratyaksha means just by perception. Second is inference, anumana. Third is comparisons. Keep on comparing, upama. Fourth is tradition, agami. Now you see the bifurcation. First, pratyaksha is direct perception. You get knowledge by this knowledge of the self by direct perception. If you are an extremely alert student, then there will be cabinets in your mind and you will put all the unnecessary thing in that one cabinet and throw it away. It's not needed. This information is not needed for my evolution. Khatam. Stop it. So I don't want to indulge into that. This particular statement, this particular line, this particular news item, how is it applying or changing my life? 90% of the time dinned into me is all junk by the world. It's like a mobile phone. You have a mobile phone in hand and people say, we should do this, we should do this, we'll get into WhatsApp, we'll get into this, and then all kinds of junk comes in the name of spreading goodness. Can't we just keep quiet? I need to pass on things. Good morning, good morning, good. Why? Good morning, I know it's good morning. Harassing the other person. We don't allow anybody to live. One after information is pumped in. How is this information? And there are 1,000 information like this. 1,000 information given of what happened. Pick up a message from one clip, one example which you have understood and move on. We get in the whole day. There are people whole day, they are only sitting on social media. social media which helps one evolve or other do the job. We are not talking about that. We are talking about indulgence. What is it? Selfie. How many selfies you want? Your whole history, not yours, I'm talking about general public, whole history is in Facebook. Photographs, children's photograph, wife's photograph, husband's photograph, your phone number, your business. Why do we need to put, why do we have this strange attitude to put my whole life before the world so that they can criticize? Nobody is happy. Why? Pratyaksha is what comes directly. When you are a quality student, when you have studied and analyzed the scriptures properly, when you have analyzed your life properly, this is my current age. At present, this is my situation. Where am I going with my life? I was born, I grew, I did my job, I had my work, at present I am working so and so, I got married, I had children, I am playing roles in this world as much as possible. Role of a husband, role of a wife, role of a daughter, role of a son, role of parents, role of children, role of a teacher, role of a student. I am playing each role, trying to do with perfection. All these roles that I am performing is dependent on who I am contacting with. When I am contacting with my wife, I play the role of a husband. When I am contacting the husband, I play the role of a wife. When I contact my parents, I play the role of a child. When I am a child, I play the role of a parent. I am playing roles all and sundry every given point of time. But who is this I who's playing the role? The roles can get agitated because they are going through a particular motion depending on the contacts with the outside world. But why should this I be agitated? Because I is just playing the role. It's like an actor playing the role. The actor or the actress doesn't get agitated. They act agitated when the role demands it. So whenever I get agitated, I don't get agitated. The mother gets agitated. The son gets agitated. The daughter gets agitated. The roles get affected and identification with those roles agitate me. When you start understanding this, studying from your own life and people around you, you are a prepared student. You exactly know what type of action you need to do in the world, karma. You exactly know when you are contacting with the world, what kind of emotion you are supposed to have, what kind of compassionate heart you have to deal with people around. You have to assess intellectually what kind of people we are interacting with. Am I interacting with a lion? Am I interacting with a deer? Am I interacting with a monkey? If I'm interacting with a lion, I need to roar. I can't bleat. If I bleat or mew like a goat or a cat, the lion will devour me. If I am with a deer, I should know I can go near and talk nicely, get even physical, sometimes brushing my shoulder with that deer, no problem. If I am a monkey, I know if the other person is a monkey, because the person will not sit in one place. They'll keep on jumping everywhere from different trees. You know what we did today? And you know what we did? You know, the monkey, leave it. Assess each and every person. You are a prepared student. You remember we do the prayer, Om Sahana Bhavatu. The first word we say is Om. If you are a prepared student to that level, the very fact you have said Om, you have understood the reality. You have understood. You don't need anything. This is called direct perception. Absolutely ready. Straight away, it hits you. You can see divinity, others can't. Others will say where it is. You can see it. What is the meaning of Om? Om. Actually, when you are chanting Om, sir, your chanting is wrong, because you have to do long chanting. Om. I've seen this in classes where different teachers are there, they show chanting Om, and everybody is in a race. Om, going on. Even there, chanting Om is a race. Just chant. Just chant Om and understand what is the meaning of Om. What is the meaning of Om? What does it mean? Om is made up of 3 words. A, U and M. A comes from here, therefore it's called the guttural sound. U comes from here, right in between, therefore it is coming from here, and comes from here when your lips are sealed. A, since the maximum sound is from here, if you touch you can find out. This represents the waking state where we are awake. I presume you are awake after this lecture. I have no idea. I am looking at the monitor now. So I am presuming you are awake. In my waking state, everything is very definite, loud. U represents the dream state where everything is very fluid, everything is very liquid. Time, space and causation are not definite, they are not concrete. Represents the deep sleep state where I experience nothing. So what is Om? Om is that which comes, that is the reason many people say Om actually comes from the Nabhi. The sound comes from here. Why the sound comes from here is, they say Om is beyond the 3 states of consciousness, the waking, dream and the deep sleep. That power which goes through the waking state, which makes the dream state function, which goes through the deep sleep state and beyond, is that supreme self, Om Pranava. You are prepared student. So as soon as Om is chanted, you have got it. Then you let the body live. Then you allow the mind and the intellect to function in the world as it is. But you never get agitated and upset over anything. You become a solutions person. You don't stick with a problem, you stick with solutions. This is pratyaksha, immediate. You perceive, not others can perceive, but because of your evolution, you can perceive. If you can't, then use your intellect a little, because the mind is still fluctuating with desires. And then you reach a state of inference, anumana. Anumana, inference is when you infer, you look and you see, my God, there is a lot of smoke there. When there is a lot of smoke, you understand what? There is fire behind it. Since there is smoke, there has to be fire. You have not seen the fire, you have seen the smoke. So you infer, seeing the smoke, that there has to be a fire. You infer, seeing a spiritual person. What is a spiritual person? A spiritual person is one who is never agitated for himself. They may get agitated with others, because when the evolution becomes very slow and not evolving, the students are lethargic, laggard. That's where the teacher may pretend to get agitated so that they can push the students towards evolution. Otherwise, for himself or herself, they never get agitated. Certain traits in the teacher, it's worth noting. Whatever the traits be, whatever be the qualities be, you like this particular person communicating in a particular way. So if he sings bhajan, you like the way he sings bhajan. If he's talking, you like the way he's talking. If he's dressing, every aspect of the teacher, there is something which you like. And then the intellect starts functioning. This person doesn't look like he or she is getting agitated. How? They are always smiling. They are always happy. They genuinely look, and 1 day, 2 day, 3 day happiness I can still understand. 1 class, 2 class, maybe 8 classes, 10 classes of pretense of smiling and saying I am very happy, that can be done. They are great actors. Some of the people are great actors. But to maintain a consistency with one's character of peace and happiness for X amount of years and continue beyond, it is their own nature. Then the intelligent student starts questioning, what makes this person tick? I am also living in this world. He or she, my teacher, is also living in this world. What makes them what they are, and why can't I duplicate it? Why can't I? What is the difference between that teacher and me? Let me see. 2 eyes, 2 nose, no, 1 nose, 1 mouth, 2 hands. Everything is the same. In fact, I got more hair than the teacher. Yeah, one special thing about this teacher is his eyebrows are white. This is something, none of the difference, same as me. The student looks at the teacher and says, what is going on in his or her life? Because the manifestation of that power I can see before me. They don't gossip, they don't get agitated. So there has to be some power. From where did they get that power? I also want it. We are so intelligent. We go to other people's houses, we see curtains and say, I want that curtain. We see the TV and say, I want this TV. I want this fridge in my house, it's so nice. I want this kind of a house, it's just so nice. I want this kind of a bungalow, it's so nice. I want this kind of a parent or a child, it's so nice. We are always comparing with the whole world of what all is lacking in us. Never once. We don't dare, in fact, compare ourselves with the teacher who taught us or is teaching us everything of what makes this person tick. A young man, brilliant man, age of 27, married, 2 children, went to Eknath. Eknath used to sit in a temple and always sing bhajans. He used to sing a half an hour bhajan or something, and then he would talk about divinity, some God consciousness, some experiences which lightened up his life. This boy attended his talk, attended his bhajans, and then he heard that 7 years he's been doing this. So he came to Eknath and said, see, I have seen you, when you sing bhajans, you are very happy. When you are giving lectures, you are extremely happy, always smiling. I have not seen a single person around me smiling like that. I've seen everybody agitated at some point or the other in my life, but I've never seen you agitated. So I think you are pretending. And if you are not pretending, tell me, how come you are never angry? How come you are never? There has to be something, right? There has to be something. I think you are pretending, Baba. And he was doing this a lot. Eknath called him. He took his hand and said, just a minute. And he looked at the hand and said, oh, okay, sorry. So what were you saying? The boy said, sorry, bhulo. What did you see in my hand? Nothing, that's okay, beta. No, you saw something in my hand and then you did. So what was that? I don't want to tell you, you'll get upset. No, sir, please tell me, what is it? After exactly 7 days, you are not going to be living anymore. Sorry? I don't have any physical problem. Her hand is saying, हाथ में लिखा है, 7 days you are going to die. Then Eknath said, okay, doesn't matter, beta, so what is your question? He said, never mind my question. He got up. Coming, he was into the temple, he ran up the stairs. While going down, he is holding the railing and slowly walking. Very dejected, very disappointed. As he was walking, he saw a friend. And that friend had taken 50,000 rupees from him, saw some work. He did not return. So every time he was hiding his face and going away. This time he came. So he said, Ramesh, come. And that fellow was running. Ramesh, come. And Ramesh came. And as soon as Ramesh came, he said, see, I'll give you, Suresh, I'll give you your this thing, please, 50,000. Just a minute. Next week I'll give. He says, just relax. I'm not here to ask for money. Did the money come in use? So yes, it helped me a lot. If you need more, let me know. Okay, I'm not asking the money back. Just make use of it. This guy was surprised, saying, this is something different. He went home. The wife started talking. Every time I told you after satsang, at least get some ginger so that we can make a cup of tea. You never, did you get the ginger? You forgot the ginger. Every time you do, and she's blasting him, firing him away, full of anger, like Durga Mata. This man looks up to his wife and says, she's so beautiful. I must be the most luckiest person to get married to this lady. A person like me doesn't deserve a lady like her. She is something way beyond special. He doesn't say anything. And wife looks and says, this guy is not shouting back. Then she knew something's wrong. The 2 children are running around. And he looks at the 2 children, every time mischief, throwing this, throwing that. Both angels, they are so sweet. The next 3 days, he was not communicating much to people. He was just looking at things. He became more and more peaceful. 4th day, he developed cough. 5th day, he started coughing. 6th day, his body became weak and he fell on bed. The wife said, what happened to you? You're gone. What's happening? He says, Eknath, who has a reputation of never lying in his life, told me, tomorrow is my last day. She also started crying. She told, oh my God, what will I do? He said, listen. And he explained everything to the wife about the income, expenditure, where he's kept the money, what, everything is secured. Last 2 hours are remaining. He calls all his relatives, everybody is talking. Suddenly Eknath comes, because usually satsang time of Eknath is morning 11 o'clock. Till 1 o'clock this boy did not come. So he just came, dropped in, because 4 o'clock was the time, dropped in. What happened? Sir, bas, now I can go in peace, sir. I have had your darshan. I am happy. Are you not well? Yes, sir. What happened? So you told me, no. 7 days. Today is my last, sir. Last hour. I say, show me your hand. He showed the hand. Sorry. My mistake. It was a wrong calculation. It was not 7 days. It was 70 years. I am sorry. He got up and blasted Eknath. He was so angry. He said, do you know what happened in this 6 days? Do you have any idea what I went through mentally? Have any idea what happened in my family? What happened? He said, relax. What happened? Did you get angry at anybody? He said, no, I didn't get angry at anybody. Did you shout at your wife and children? No, I did not shout at anybody. Did you think this should happen, that should happen? No, I did not think that. Did you forgive anybody for doing something wrong to you? Yes, actually I called few people where I've been fighting, and just forgive them for what they did. How was those first 6 days? Then the boy looked up and said, it was brilliant. I didn't have any expectations. I didn't have any desires that this needs to be done. Everything was planned. I was very happy from within. Because I knew I'm going to die. It was all right. Eknath looked up and said, you asked me a question, how I am not agitated, how I am not tensed up. Because I don't know whether the next breath I will be able to take. I don't know whether tomorrow's sunrise I will see. Therefore, I make the best use of whatever I can, the time possible given by that Lord Almighty, to the best of my ability. That experience is pratyaksha. After that inference, these qualities are there. I want these qualities, because these qualities has to have a cause somewhere, and I want to find what is that cause. What makes them what they are? What made a Swami Ramtirtha what he was? What made a Ramana Maharishi what he was? Contents are the same. Scriptures, how do I go about it? So you intellectually analyze and move on. The third step is Anumana, comparisons. You compare the states, that person with this person, your own state, waking state and dream state. Just as I am dreaming, everything looks real. When I wake up, whenever I wake up, I look and say, the dream is just a figment of my imagination. I was so much crying in the dream and I got so agitated in the dream. And when I wake up, I say, it's just a figment of my imagination. It's not real, sir. ऐसे ही चल रहा था. Just as I woke up from the dream when I was in the waking state and understood that the dream state is a figment of my imagination, similarly, when I am completely involved in my waking state of consciousness, relating with this waking world, it looks extremely real to me. But I need a vantage point, a point beyond the waking state, to understand what waking state is. And when I reach that point, that is the self, that is the state of supreme reality, Brahman, from that vantage point, when I look up or look down to the waking state, I will also shrug, just as I am doing the dream and saying, it is just a figment of my imagination. It is temporary. Nothing in my life is permanent. My breath is not permanent. Elements are not permanent. My diseases are not permanent. One after another viruses coming. And every time, oh my God, this happened. Oh, it is going to happen. It will continue to happen. Every aspect of my life is temporary. Nothing is going to remain the same. An intelligent person, a spiritual person, understands this temporariness in this current waking phenomena, and therefore focuses on what he or she needs to do to make a better evolutionary state, so that these temporariness, when they come and when they go, I don't jump in joy and I don't sink in sorrow. They are what they are. I am what I am. With comparison, I can understand. Even then, I don't have that kind of intellect to even compare. It's not assess. Then they say, Agami, you follow the scriptures. Whatever is written in the scriptures, you follow. Now, this is where the trouble is. Follow tradition. Follow tradition because you don't have time to think, you don't have time to look around, to smell the air and see what's right and what's wrong in this current generation, and how do you get out of their problems and provide solutions to make the world a better place. Into tradition, go into books. So people are stuck with books, religious texts, and say whatever is written there is true. It may not be. It has nothing to do with your current life. Swami Ram Tirtha puts this beautifully. He says any textbook, any lecture you listen, if it is not affecting my current life and making me happier than what I was before, then you throw that religion out. It has to be, and he uses the word cash religion. Cash religion is, I have it in my hand, I can immediately use it. Use your head, use your intellect, use your buddhi at every step of your life. Buddhi saturated not with the worldly thoughts, opinions and gossips about what the world and its news is. Saturated with that higher value of how can I make this temporary phenomena confined in this personality better and better and better. Disassociate with my own body, mind, intellect and associate with something higher in life. And from that vantage point, I see life's passing as a beautiful memory. We'll continue next time. Thank you. Oh.